Hello, everyone. Welcome to Court with Krissy. It's almost the weekend, and to get you through that home stretch, here's 4 short court clips you probably didn't catch. No need to thank me. Just like the video. Really, like the video. I hope you like it. Court with Krissy is now in session.
Randy Burchard. Good
Hello, Your Honor.
afternoon. You're Miss Burchard, right?
Yeah.
All right. Miss Burchard, you have 4 different cases that we have to address. At least one
Yeah.
of them is new charges. I think there may be 2.
And the one I'm a little bit confused about, because when I was in last time, you said it was also confusing and you didn't know why, or it was confusing, but it's from August, but you didn't OR, we didn't have that one. It was like, we didn't even, it just is coming up with this paperwork.
Yeah.
Is that making sense?
I'm not sure. We're going to work our way through this, though, all right?
Okay. And I also put, it's been a really crappy mess since my release last time. I found out my husband had a baby on me when I turned my phone on. It's been crazy. I lost my apartment. So I put on the application my mom's address, but I don't know if you guys sent my court date to my mom's because I never got a court date.
Let's see here. When you posted your bond last time, you put down a...
Yes, because when I called home, my mom said my landlord contacted them and they're evicting me because of some stuff my husband was doing while I was
and then
not there.
we did send a notice to the address.
Okay, well, my parents never gave me that, so I mean, I need to actually set up my PO box or something with the mailbox, because my parents have a problem not to give me my mail a lot, which they are actually going through a lot considering my brother's death and everything. They're not really trying to babysit me, which is understandable.
I gotcha. Let's see here.
But I wanted to ask, I don't know how that goes. I haven't been in trouble in misdemeanors in a very long time. If I really feel like probation and I have set up through Mary Haven on the 6th, because I called Mary Haven. I wanted to go through them because I was wanting to go through Mary Haven. It's a 30-day program. And then I was going to turn myself in and show you guys that I wanted to do like probation, because I know you're not going to not give me probation. I know that's a thing, but...
Well, I'll tell you what, let's deal with the cases that you haven't had an opportunity to address yet, and then we're going to talk about bonds on all of them. Because I'm assuming you're entering the pleas of not guilty to the new charges?
I mean, if we could put them all into one, I would.
Well, so here's the deal. Your first case, which is 24 CRB 1182, the complaint was filed on August the 27th, and along with the complaint, they issued a warrant straight away. They didn't send a summons on that one. But it alleges that on or about August the 4th of this year, within the city of Heath in Lincoln County, Ohio, that you did knowingly, with the purpose to deprive the owner of property valued less than $1,000, obtained or exerted control over that property without consent, which, as you know, is just a fancy way of saying theft. It's an M1,
Right.
to 180 days jail, up to $1,000 fine. You want to enter a plea of not guilty?
I'm sorry, it froze up. Yeah, not guilty, but wasn't I already in court? Didn't I already OR? Why didn't I get that?
These are charges that you've never addressed. So
I know, but if it was in August, why didn't they already have that set?
you know what? I'm at a loss to be able to answer that. I have no idea. The second case, which is 24 CRB 1491, alleges the exact same thing, same offense, only this time they're claiming it happened on November the 1st within Etna Township. So, again, not guilty?
Yes.
Now, are you employed?
Yes, I actually work at AAA Land and Movers. I'm supposed to be at work today at 5 o'clock. I was supposed to work all weekend, but I had my mom unfortunately call and tell him I couldn't make it to work. So I'm supposed to let him know if I'm going to be able to make it today or not.
All right. Well,
I pack and unpack.
so here's the deal. On the new cases, I am going to go ahead and OR you. All right?
Okay.
But when Judge George issued the warrants for your arrest on the other 2 cases, he set bonds at $2,500 cash or to your 10%. Now, typically, when another judge has issued the warrant and set the bond, I will defer to their judgment because it's their case, and I would expect the same in return. And that's what I'm going to do here.
So-
Judge George could reduce them. You'll have to submit a request in writing. Or if I were you, what I would strongly suggest, fill out an application for court-appointed counsel. You got 4 different cases. It's going to get complicated and messy, and you want somebody who can help you coordinate all this and resolve it all at the same time.
Okay, so how much money do I need to get out?
You got 2 separate $2,500 cash or your 10% bonds, so they can tell you the details down there at the clerk's or down at the jail.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, on Shetterly,
Ready, Judge.
$24,01599, $24,01970.
Good morning, Your Honor. Ida Spahich on behalf of Miss Shetterly.
All right, Ms. Shetterly's there.
Yes, Judge.
All right, this is date and time set for pretrial. She's pleading no contest to 2 counts of trespassing. And the other charges are being dismissed. Is that right?
That is correct, Judge. Lack of memory is the reason for the no contest plea.
Ms. Shetterly, please raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
Please
Yes.
put your hand down. Ms. Shetterly,
Hey, trustee, will you put
Shetterly, can you read, write, and understand the English language?
Yes.
Can you hear and understand me?
Yes.
You're pleading no contest to 2 counts of trespassing. Those are misdemeanor charges carrying with them a maximum possible fine of $500 plus costs and up to 93 days in jail, all at this court's discretion. Before you enter a plea, you should understand you have the right to represent yourself or be represented by an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one to be appointed for you at public expense. You have the right to a trial, either by me or by a jury. At that trial, you'd have the right to confront, cross-examine, question all witnesses brought against you. You'd have the right to have the court subpoena witnesses on your behalf. You'd have the right to testify if you wanted to, remain silent if you wanted to, and no one could say anything about you remaining silent. As you appear before this court, you're presumed innocent of this charge, and your guilt has to be proven beyond a reasonable doubt. Ma'am, do you understand that once you enter a plea, you give up all those rights that I just said that you'd have at a trial?
Yes.
Once you plead guilty, there'll be no trial. You understand that?
All right. I plead guilty.
Sorry,
Just in the
I'm sorry. I'm
context
sorry. I'm so sorry. I misspoke. I misspoke. You understand that when you plead no contest, you give up all those rights that I just said that you'd have in a
All
trial.
right. Fine. Whatever.
Is that a yes?
Whatever. Yes.
Okay. And do you understand that once you plead no contest, there'll be no trial? You understand that?
Right. Whatever.
Ma'am?
I don't understand, and I never will. Just get on with it. Good God. I got brain disease. All right. Just leave me alone.
Ms. Shetterly, now we have always had fine conversations together. Now we're trying to resolve this once and for all. So all I'm trying to find out is, are you willing to acknowledge and then give the court the chance to come up with an appropriate sanction and allow you to move forward? Are you
Yeah. Right.
Are you ready to do that?
Right.
Okay. I just want to make sure that I understand that the prosecutor is dismissing some charges here. Has anybody else promised you anything in order
No,
to
I
get
just want to get back to my cell, please. Leave me alone. I'll never get out of here with you ugly assholes.
Now, Ms. Shetterly,
Fuck you.
the challenge is right now, there's a plea offer on the table. The prosecutor is recommending to let you out today on these charges.
Yeah, right, sure. I don't believe you.
Okay. I don't think that Ms. Shetterly is ready to have a conversation yet, unfortunately.
Judge, I can see that. We started off okay. I didn't think there was going to be an issue because when we spoke this morning, everything was fine.
No, obviously, I think it's nobody's fault other than the court had to take some additional time on the Hills matter, and I am certainly sorry for everybody on this. Ms. Shetterly, I am sorry about the delay that it took to deal with your case, but I just want to confirm today, if you don't want to talk with me, that's fine. It will just be adjourned for another couple weeks, and we can have a conversation a couple weeks from now.
Well, just cancel that. I'll just live here. I'll just live here.
Judge, yeah, my understanding, Judge, is she's been in jail since October 8th, if I'm not mistaken. So we're looking at about 30 days.
Yeah, I would prefer to talk with her, but she's not ready to right right now. Can't do anything about it. Deputy, I'm so sorry about the delay. Thank you.
Yeah, yo. I can hear my right side of my hearing. Excuse me, yo. I want to see the room good. I can't hear, yo. Hello, Judge. I can't hear you, Judge. I had to see you on screen. I can't hear you.
Hold on. Mr. Harima.
Yes,
you
I
hear me
can't
now?
see you, Judge. I can't even hear you right now. I'm in the cell. I can't hear you.
Okay, I can hear you just fine, sir.
Can I get a
Are
PPR?
you-
Can I get a PPR, please, so I can go home and take a court date? I'm not a criminal, Judge.
Well, let me tell you, Mr. Harima, we got to get through the arraignment first, and then your attorney can ask the court for the bond. But we got to get through this first of all, okay?
All right.
Okay, so your full name is Stanley James Harima, is that right?
Hirima, yes. Hirima, yes.
Harima, thank
Yes.
you. All right, and Mr. Hardy, if you would enter your appearance, please.
Assistant Public Defender Joseph Hardy on behalf of Mr. Harima.
Hey, Mr. Hardy.
All right, this is file 24-03362FY. This is a complaint alleging on or about November 6th of 2024 at the CATA bus station at 420 South Grand Avenue, Lansing, Ingham County, Michigan. Count 1 alleges that you did maliciously with the specific intent to intimidate or harass Kenneth Robertson because of his race, threaten to cause physical contact with him, and there was reasonable cause to believe that act would occur. So that's contrary to law. That is a felony. Maximum penalty 2 years and or $5,000. The second count, sir, alleges that you did make an assault or an assault and battery upon the following person, Kenneth Robertson. Contrary to law, that is a misdemeanor. Maximum penalty 93 days and or $500. A consecutive sentence may be imposed under Michigan law if the assault was committed in a place of confinement. So do you understand well, I'm sorry, you got one more thing here. There's also an habitual offender second offense notice because you have a prior conviction, looks like in Wilkin County in state of Minnesota. So a prior felony conviction, which means these penalties might be enhanced from what I told you. So
Hey,
do you
what do you
understand
mean? What do you
that?
mean, Judge?
That means I told you what the maximum penalty is on those 2 charges, but it might be higher because you have a prior felony conviction. Your attorney will go over that with you and how the prosecutor can do that. But we don't go into that into great detail in an arraignment. You just need to know that it could be higher. Do you understand
Could be higher
that?
as what? It could be higher as what? Because I'm not in Minnesota. I'm in Michigan. Could be high what?
Okay. Sir, the first charge is a felony and the maximum penalty is 2 years and or $5,000. The second charge for the assault and battery is up to 93 days and or $500. So it could be higher than those penalties. There's no guarantee that it would be, but there's no guarantee that it would not be. That is up to the prosecutor.
All right.
Okay. Now, is there anything I've told you then that you do not understand?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm trying to explain to you. I was under the it was the methamphetamine the last like 2.5 weeks.
Sir, don't talk about what happened because you're being recorded and we don't want you to say anything that can be used against you. Okay?
Well, then nothing else, Your Honor.
Yeah, you're gonna talk to your attorney about that before you have your pretrial, okay?
All right, well, what's gonna happen now? Am I gonna stay in jail? Can I go home?
Well, we've got to get through this process first, Mr. Harima. So let me ask you, we're going to go over your rights because that is really important. You have the following rights. You have the right to plead guilty, not guilty, or you can stand mute, remaining silent. You have the right to a trial by a judge or a jury, and at that trial, you can present or confront witnesses. If they wouldn't appear, the court can order them to do so. You also have the right to a lawyer. If you cannot afford one, one can be appointed for you at court expense. Additionally, you are presumed innocent, and if you're found guilty, it must be beyond a reasonable doubt. Now, you've got some other rights also. You've got the right to remain silent. Anything you say or write can be used against you, and you always have the right to have a lawyer present with you at any time that you are questioned. Do you understand that, Mr. Harima?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, then, Mr. Hardy, is he applying for an attorney today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so now we're going to enter a not guilty plea for you, and we've got 2 hearing dates. Your first hearing is a probable cause conference. That is an opportunity for the prosecution and the defense to get together, talk about what issues there are in the matter, whether or not there's going to be a plea offer. There's a lot of things that they talk about. You can appear for that probable cause conference by Zoom. You don't have to be there in person, but that is November 14th. That's at 8:30 a.m. And like I said, you can appear remotely by Zoom or in person. Do you understand that so far?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Good. Now, the next hearing, sir, is a preliminary exam. That is a hearing where you have to appear in person. That's like a mini trial to determine whether or not a crime was committed by probable cause, and whether by probable cause you were the person who committed the crime. So that you have to appear in person, and that is on the 6th floor of City Hall. That's in courtroom 1, and that's with Judge Ward. So on that white paper that you've got right there, yep, you've got it. That's your sheet. The purple sheet that's behind that, that is your instructions on how to use Zoom. So you don't want to lose that paperwork, okay?
No, Your Honor, I keep on the paperwork at all times.
Good, good. Okay, so Mr. Harima, let's.
Gunner for the MPs, and I was a Bravo.
Well, thank you for that information, sir. All right, then, Mr. Hardy, I have no other questions for your client. If you would address bond.
Thank you, Your Honor. So, Mr. Harima, is a upstanding citizen. He's somebody who's served our country in the U.S. Marines. He's lived here for about 5 years now, so he does have ties to the community. He's someone that's represented to me that he does not fail to appear for court. He always makes it to court when he needs to be. Additionally, while we do acknowledge the habitual notice, I would just submit to the court that is my understanding that nothing that he has been convicted of before was violent. So, with this, I would just be requesting a PR bond because I believe that the safety of the community could be maintained with the proper conditions.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Hardy, please release me, Mr. Hardy. Please, I have no criminal offenses out here at all, Mr. Hardy. And I'm willing to do this, man. I'm willing to get everything done, my probation and everything. Please, Mr. Hardy.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Harima, the court looks at 2 factors. Are you a flight risk, and are you a danger to the public?
No, I am not.
Recognizes. Well, this is my turn to talk, so I'm going to give you my reasons on how I'm doing your your bond, sir. So again, I'm going to look at those two factors. Are you a flight risk? Are you a danger to the public? I look to your criminal history. I look to your ties to the community, your employment status, things like that. You do have some out-of-state convictions. You have did you live in New Jersey for a little while?
Yes, I did, Your Honor. I lived in New Jersey all my life. I was born and raised in New Jersey.
Okay. Okay, it looks like you might have a couple, 2 or 3 warrants out of, one out of Litchfield, Minnesota, another out of Malika, Minnesota,
Minnesota, yes. Mille Lacs, Minnesota, yes.
and another in Fergus Falls, Minnesota. And that last one shows a probation violation hearing that you failed to appear. And then the others are like an OWI. And I can't tell what the last one is. So you do have a couple of failed to appears. You also have a couple of conviction. No, that's a dismissal.
Your Honor, I just want to know what's going on right now with the charges right now I have. Am I going home or not?
Yeah, I just have to look at a few things, Mr. Harima.
Because I shouldn't have been belonging here. I was not out there last night. I had a PTSD attack last night. That's why I spit on Kenny.
Okay. And then the other matter, which is the probation out of Minnesota, that does show a statute, threats of violence or reckless disregard and risk. So based on that, the failed to appears, the probation, I cannot grant you a PR bond, sir, because I don't know that you're going to stay within the jurisdiction of the court. So I will set a 10,000, 10% bond, and there are conditions of your release. First of all, don't miss any court dates and do not violate any state or local laws. Let me finish, sir. Do not violate any state or local law. Okay. No out-of-state travel without permission from.
I have no family out here.
Okay.
Give me the fucking PPR.
I'm going to order a CMH evaluation as well to ensure that if you are released, that you're not a danger to yourself or others.
I'm not, Your Honor. I'm not. I'm just kind of upset, Your Honor. I want to go home. I've been doing good in this fucking jail.
Good. We're going to get you some mental health help if we can do that as well while you remain in custody, Mr. Harima. You're all set.
So what's going on now?
Now you just gotta wait on the paperwork to come down, and then
Just keep me in jail then.
you just gotta go through the bond.
Oh no, I don't know where I'm now. I don't know where.
Let me get him.
Okay. That bond is going up to 20,000, 10%.
Okay.
Okay, I'm concerned. All right, you want to just 20,000, 10%, Mr. Harima.
You want to make sure. Okay.
All right, who do you have here next, officer?
Dylan.
Okay, I'm gonna bring the 4 co-defendants first.
Okay, thank you. What's going on here? Did you let's hear this report? You see? Take a look down this report. It's gonna be interesting. Report. All right, let me know when I have everybody present. We're here. Okay. All right, any objection to my calling these cases together, counsel?
No.
No objection, Your Honor.
Thank you. All arising out of the same situation, each defendant charged with home invasion in the first degree. Case number 240-603-7303 is People versus Carrie Montford. Ms. Montford, identify yourself, state your name. Carrie Montford here. Thank you. Calling case number 240-603-7302, People versus Linda Martin. Ms. Martin, please identify yourself. Linda Martin. Thank you. Calling case number 240-603-7301, People of the State of Michigan versus Cassandra Laughlin. Identify yourself, please, Ms. Laughlin. Cassandra Laughlin. Thank you. And calling case number 240-603-7304, People versus Nicole Claiborne. Please identify yourself, Ms. Claiborne. Nicole Claiborne. Thank you. All right. Appearances, please.
Thank you, Judge. On all 4 defendants, Steve Vincent, P71917.
Thank you. Defense.
Judge, may I please the court, Philip Reagan on behalf of Ms. Laughlin, Ms. Martin, Ms. Montford, and Ms. Claiborne. As to all young ladies, we waive the formal reading stand mute. They've been advised of their rights.
Thank you, counsel. The court notes formal reading has been waived in interest of not guilty to your client on all defendants' behalf. Positions as to bond, please, Mr. Vincent.
Magistrate, Judge, Your Honor, I did have the opportunity to read these allegations, and I think the bottom line here is, and I think defense counsel as well as Your Honor will agree with me, this isn't the way to handle a situation. We have 4 defendants who are apparently daughters of a complainant who's losing his cognitive abilities, and they decide to relocate him. He's married to their stepmom. Apparently, it's been over 2 decades that he's been married to her. There are a lot of issues here, a lot of layers that I don't think are going to be addressed or shouldn't even be addressed as a result of what we're going through. But the bottom line is, this is the reason why there are durable power of attorneys and probate court, to get those courts and those documents blessings in order to handle situations like this. I mean, at least based in our world, you can't just go ahead and take your father away and then go to the credit unions and start emptying out his bank accounts. So Judge, neither all of these gals don't have any priors. I mean, I looked into history. It was just their approach and how they handled this is the reason why they're being charged with the home invasion. They're basically coming into their father's house and their mother's house, not allowing the stepmother to use her telephone, kind of incapacitating her so that they won't be stopped from taking their dad. The people have empathy for the situation that they're going through with their father, but what the people don't have empathy for is how they went about executing this proverbial plan that they had. There are means and measures to do this. So it is being charged as a home invasion first degree. It's a 20-year offense. So it's serious. But I don't think they're a danger. And I don't think there's a flight risk here. Maybe a higher personal bond and at least, you know, through the pendency of this thing, or until they can somehow get their affairs in order with their father, maybe a no assaultive contact with the father, no contact whatsoever with the stepmom. And then we'll leave the rest up to you, Judge.
Thank you.
Judge, I differ a little in Mr. Vincent's recitation. I don't think it was as simple as them going to get their dad and going to empty out bank accounts. They actually had a key that they were given by their brother to actually go in the house. They're concerned about their dad. They all live in Georgia. They came up from Georgia to see about their dad. And, you know, it's a situation where, you know, the stepmom lives there, but they had a key to get in. They didn't break in any house. It talks about in the report. But I understand that, you know, it's tough right now. It's tough, you know, especially when you have your father. But I don't think they are a threat. I don't think they're a flight risk. You know, I would ask for the personal bond, whatever number the court put on, we wouldn't object to, whatever number or amount. But no assaultive contact, I think would be important. And I do agree there's certain ways you have to go about it. You know, and I'm not saying that this is a way in which they did anything wrong, because you know, the allegations, obviously, and they have their side of the story, and the stepmom does. But still, when you have a sensitive situation like this, and you're talking about incapacitation, possibly in probate issues or things that are going to come up, there's certain ways you have to deal with it. If it's going to, you know, be a little rough, but I think that you know, they understand by sitting in jail for the last few, they had to sit in jail, you know, and they were arrested and they charged with a case. So I think they get it, Judge. They're going to come back if the court allows them to go back to Georgia and make all court dates and abide by whatever court order or whatever orders the court does give in terms of this case.
All right, thank you. All right. Excuse me. I think Mr. Vincent's request is fair here. Excuse me, which is a personal bond. In each case, bond is going to be set at $50,000 personal. You guys are not to, excuse me, have any contact with your stepmom. You may have contact with your dad, but no assaultive contact with your dad, okay? This is a situation I'm somewhat familiar with, having just buried a father with severe dementia. So, you know, there are ways to go about this with the probate court. If you have concerns about his care, his caregiving, his finances, you need to address it through the court, all right? That's not the way to do it. But bond will be set at $50,000 personal, thank you. No travel restrictions. Meaning you may return to the state of Georgia if you wish to do so. Next, court dates. Do you have a question about something? You look confused.
You said, I didn't understand what you said. You said no attraction or something.
No travel restrictions.
No, not that. With our dad, you said
no assaultive contact.
You may have contact with your father. You just may not have any assaultive contact with your father. Okay, nothing assaultive. No grabbing him, no taking him anywhere, no removing him. Yeah. You know, no.
Okay, I didn't understand that. Okay. Thank you for that.
No contact, however, with stepmom. All right, so that might make things somewhat difficult. But you cannot have any contact with her. Okay. Defense counsel, they have a brother that's here in town.
Yes, I'm sorry, Judge. That's correct. Okay. You guys have a brother here in town, right?
Yes. Okay. All right. I just wanted, so if they need to have contact with their dad, he can facilitate that outside of having contact with the stepmom. All right. Next court dates. November 18th for probable cause conference. November 25th for preliminary examination. Those are both going to be in front of Judge Sabri. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Come on, we'll ask you a question.
For the Zoom call.
Yeah, we're gonna give you instructions in the court.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Madam Clerk, would you please make sure that these reflect no travel restrictions? And then in terms of the no contact, that it is no contact with stepmom, but no assaulted with dad? Okay, thank you. I'm just filling out this last one.